The fact that
Thanks.
you have an absolute unique voice and loved all your renditions with Sir. And I have to be honest, your songs, Kabhi Kabhi, Kahin To, all these songs still play on my playlist, and they're like timeless classics, I should say, because as even as part of this podcast, there's something called the I Love ARR community which has evolved, and your song still gets talked about so much. And I think earlier in the week you had shared a link on your Facebook timeline with you performing in front of Sir. Oh my God, it brought so much smile, especially when you came out as a surprise, and Sir did not know
Yeah.
about it clearly. He wasn't faking it for sure,
No,
and
no.
it was amazing to see. I mean, it brought back, especially listening to this song, it brought back so many memories. So thank you so much again for accepting this invite to come on this podcast.
You're
So,
welcome.
and look, this podcast, although the objective of this podcast was to create an A.R. Rahman podcast, what it's turned out to be is a talking autobiography of Sir, and with the likes of yourself and so many other colleagues of yours have also come, like Shankar Mahadevan, Hariharan,
Yeah,
and absolutely everyone. And then Sir himself coming on the podcast, it has only turned into a talking autobiography. So I'm
that's
so
great.
happy to have you. Thank you so much once again. So,
You're
with
welcome.
Rashid, how are things with you?
Yeah, they're very good. Very, very good. Yeah. So it's been quite challenging in lockdown
Yeah.
because we're still pretty much in lockdown here. I mean, I had to come here for a while, so
Wow.
we're in lockdown here, and I think it's been 6 months now, right?
Yeah.
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 How are things with you in Australia?
Yeah, it is. We are in a lockdown too. We are in a stage 4 lockdown as we speak. And what that means is you're allowed to go out only for your groceries once a day, and you're allowed to go out for your exercises
Uh,
once a day, and that's it.
wow.
And you can't go anywhere beyond 5 kilometers radius, and otherwise you'll be slapped with a fine of $1,600. And
Joking.
yeah, so it's pretty
Wow.
serious stuff. And then we've had the cases are, I should say that the curve is flattening
Yeah.
slightly, because it was like pretty high with 400 500 cases almost every day, and now it's come down to about under 100 a day. So just
Oh, that's
keeping
good.
fingers crossed, because also being very very safe, not don't just don't want to, you don't know where
Yeah.
it could come from with the community transmission and stuff, right? So
Yeah. Just we have to kind of be sensible and safe, and that's what we're doing. And
yeah,
touch wood,
yeah,
no, thank God we're not been okay so far.
yeah, yeah. So how are you keeping yourself positive during this?
Yeah, very good. I think my wife has been busy with the children because we've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
two 4-year-olds.
right.
So, and we got twins.
Oh,
So
wow, amazing.
it's amazing, but they've been at home for 6 months.
Sounds like a
So
lot of
that's been
things.
quite busy, like trying to concentrate on them and obviously spending time with them,
Yeah,
spending time on music. But I think what they're doing now, I think they're ready to kind of go back to their routine. So that's good, at
yeah,
least in
yeah,
September.
amazing. Cool. So, Rashid, I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about a number of things, especially your journey, your experiences with. But before we dive into that, what's been your childhood days like? Did you know that music was your thing? Just curious to know what it was.
Yeah, the thing is, music comes from my mum because although she was an NRI herself, she
Yeah,
did a lot of shows and she was very much prominent in the Asian community
yeah,
within the UK. So from a young age, I got to see her
yeah,
performing and doing music in the house.
yeah.
And I kind of from a very young age, I took up the guitar and I started singing before that. So I grew up with multilingual music in my house. Her performing her Asian
Yeah.
concerts and stuff, and I used to often accompany her doing guest appearances on her concert, as a child.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much used to the whole lifestyle of shows and music and a variety of music in the house.
Right. Right. Amazing. Great. And now, look, $1 million question. How did Sir find you?
That's a good question. It's just kind of, I think it was just destiny. I was part of a show to do with the Gujarat earthquake
Oh,
in
wow.
2001. Yeah, that happened in London.
Yeah.
And then we met after the show by chance, and I said hello. I recognized his face. I knew a little bit about him in the sense I knew some music,
Yeah.
Bombay Dreams,
Yeah.
Rangila. Sorry, not Bombay Dreams, Bombay,
Yeah.
Rangila, and I knew of Tal.
Yeah.
Those are the three albums I knew about.
Yeah.
And then I happened to mention him at the show that I was into jazz, but I was also into, Asian music as well. And my mum had connections with Ustad Ghulam Mustafa Hassan
Wow. Wow.
because my mum actually did an album and he composed. Hassan composed for her album.
Amazing.
So he was very, very intrigued because here is a guy who is the son of a Asian singer,
Yeah.
ghazal singer, but then he also plays jazz and is into other stuff like world music and sort of, I don't know, the likes of Al Di Meola, Chick Corea.
Yeah.
He thought that was very fascinating.
Amazing.
So then he said, let's get a meeting together, and I went to see him at the Really Useful Group, which is Andrew Lloyd Webber's
Wow.
company.
Wow. Okay.
So I went to see. He called me over. Within a few days, we got to meet.
Wow.
He said, "Bring your guitar and come after us, sir."
Yeah.
So I said, "Yeah, I'll do that." And then it's funny how that happened because I think when I went to see him, I couldn't actually find the place, and as you do in London, you travel by train over there. You don't take cars over there anymore.
Yeah.
So you travel into London because I was living outside London. I traveled into London, and on the day I had trouble finding his place, but I was late, but luckily he was just about to leave and he stayed in.
Yeah.
And I knocked on the reception. I told them that I'm here to see A.R.Rahman, and they took me into this he had this kind of area where he had his own apartment within the company,
Mhm.
and he had set up all his music stuff. And when I got there, he just told me to play, and I played one of my mum's ghazals, I think I remember, and then I played one of my own songs,
Wow.
my own compositions,
Wow.
and that's it. He just said, let's do something. And then before you know it, I was recording tracks for Naveen Kumar's album.
Right.
He was producing it at the time. And I was recording Jia Jale. I had done an arrangement of Jia Jale on the guitar.
Yeah.
And he loved it. So he said, why don't you come and play on Naveen's to begin with? That was the first recording.
Yeah.
And then soon after that, he said, come and do some scratch versions for singing for some Bombay Dreams musical.
Wow. Okay.
And that's how it started. And then we just kind of, I don't know, we just became like friends. We just started hanging out all the time. And
That's
every few days, sorry?
while he was in London.
Yeah, every time he was in London, it became a ritual that we'd hang out.
Beautiful.
I'd come to his place where he was staying, we'd hang out, we'd maybe go for prayers, we'd go out and catch a movie eventually, and then a couple of times he came to my house for dinner, and then
Wow.
it just was very informal.
Amazing.
And one night we were jamming, and he played me this, and we were just jamming, and I came up with this. I don't know if you know the song from Bharatali Parvasam.
Yeah. Which one was that?
Na Nadir Than Na.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Of course I do. Oh, wow.
So I sang on that, and I played guitar on it.
Wow. Right.
So, and I came up with this. So I came up with this riff, and he loved it. So he used it.
Yeah.
This riff.
Wow.
And got from there. And
Amazing.
then before you know it, the same summer, I met him in February,
Yeah.
and by the summer he called me to Chennai for recordings. in July.
Right. Oh, wow. And that's
And
for Jaane To Jaane.
the same summer, I recorded the Nadir Dinna song,
Wow.
and I recorded the song Ishq Adda Hai.
Oh, wow. Okay. Right. Amazing. So, um, well, I mean, before we jump into the Jaane To Jaane Na, details into it, I would love to know what were the conversations like between you and Sir when you were hanging out with him, going out for walks, and when he was out at your place for dinners and stuff.
You know, we used to talk a lot about Sufism and
Right.
music. Mainly, those are the two things that we used to talk about. But there were a lot of discussions about spiritual things,
Right. Amazing.
and and he was very much into encouraging people who, um, especially people similar in the faith.
Yeah.
He'd encourage the brothers to do a lot more spiritually.
Yeah.
And I think he had a hand, I think, very much so in encouraging me spiritually,
Yeah.
and I think that was a bond of the friendship, and the fact that I liked all this different kind of music, and because I wasn't from India as such, it made a difference to how we got on, maybe.
Yeah. Amazing.
you know because in India you can't get that chance, you don't get that chance to go out without any peace. Here in the UK, you could go out and people don't bother you, don't they? That's the way it is.
So he didn't get mobbed when you were walking on the streets?
No. In fact, I think he liked that because we could go to a fast food place. I think we went to one in Leicester Square a few times. Um,
Yeah.
do you know the cinema there? Have you been to London at all?
I have
Oh yeah,
actually
but
been.
if you know London, it's Leicester Square. We
Yeah.
used to go there a lot for fast food places, and we'd get the odd Asian people coming up to him and saying hi and getting autographs, but there weren't that many, you see. So he
Right.
liked it, the freedom.
Yeah, of course. Because I think he was here in Australia in 2017, if I'm not wrong. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was here. And then I know that he went for a stroll on the streets, but that was like, I think, would have been very early in the morning. And
yeah.
both in Melbourne, I live in Melbourne. And so he was there in Sydney as well for a concert, and he went for a stroll. And well, I mean, he obviously chose the time when it was not going to be very crowded, but otherwise he was going to get mobbed by all means because there's uh, plenty of my fellow Indians here, and they will easily
Oh,
recognize him.
that's nice.
Anyway, so yes, would love to know everything that you would love to talk about Jaane Tu Jaane Na, and they are like
That, that
timeless classics.
I'll tell you a story that we met in 2001. That's a long time ago. It's coming up to 20 years now.
Oof. Okay.
That's a long time. So we met in 2001. So I started working with him straight away, and he was very encouraging. He knew that, I had some unique talent. I could play the guitar really well and I could sing.
Yeah.
And he wanted to encourage it. So by the summer came 2001, I was already in India recording a Bollywood song that was in the making, a film in the making. Unfortunately, that didn't release until 2008, but I'll get onto that later. From
Wow.
2001, the song was recorded 2001, but it didn't come out till 7 years later.
Oof.
So, and then after that, he kept asking me whenever he'd come to England. He would say, "Come on, let's get together." And then I can remember one time in 2002, another friend of ours who lives in the UK, Taz, and myself and him, we did an impromptu trip to Paris, which is quite fun. We took the Eurostar and just went for a weekend to Paris.
Wow. Amazing.
It's good fun.
Right.
And then I remember in 2002 as well, there was a premiere of Shekhar Kapoor's film in Rome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but it was a remake of an old film. It was Heath Ledger was in it.
Elizabeth, right?
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, no, but the
No, it
movie.
wasn't Elizabeth. It was another one. It was I can't remember the name at the moment,
Okay.
but Heath Ledger starred in it, and it
Yeah,
was
yeah, Okay.
about the empire or something,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, sorry.
British Empire.
Yeah,
So when I went to Rome, I got to see Heath Ledger there as well, and
yeah.
we all of us went out, just to a restaurant, and it was good fun, and they showed us around Rome. It was a really really good trip, that one.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
I was again privileged to be part of the. It was kind of the premiere of the film in Rome.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful. Right.
So,
So, what were the recording sessions like for Kabhi Kabhi and Kahin
oh
To?
yeah,
Did that
so
happen subsequently or?
okay, so 2003, we'll go on to what happened after that. In 2003, I started joining his world concert tours.
Wow. Yeah.
Starting, I remember 1st of February 2003, we played Calcutta
Yeah.
to 70,000 people there at Salt Lake Stadium.
Oof.
And that was the first big major concert that I ever did. And it was interesting about it was I had we'd done a song Ooh La La, like
Yeah.
a remake of it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was kind of like I'd start off with the guitar with my own jazz improvisation. And then we go to Ooh La 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 that, and then it was like that. It was like a mixture of jazz and Gypsy Kings version
Right.
of Ooh La La. And he shocked me because he said, and he started announcing me. He said, "Now I've got an announcement to make. I met this guy, and he's Rashid Ali. He's from Hyderabad, and he plays jazz guitar. And we're going to do this." And he actually introduced me my name, and I was
Wow.
taken aback. And then again, we did a lot of shows in 2003, 2004. Just kept carrying on. 2005, we did some more shows, and I hung back in India,
Mhm.
and it was there that he had this song, "Kabhi Kabhi Aati in mind for me."
Wow.
It was just a scratch version. It wasn't meant to be the final.
Yeah.
And he asked me to sing it. And it was quite challenging because obviously it's quite a lot of words for me to sing in Hindi. But we did the scratch version. And Abbas Chaiwala wasn't quite sold on the
Yeah.
voice. He wasn't quite sold on my voice. But he said, I said, no, trust me. Let's see what Amir has to say about it. They took it to Amir Khan. And he just loved my voice.
Wow.
Just happened from there.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
I started the recording not thinking that I would be singing. I started the recording with the guitar parts.
Yeah.
So that guitar part that you hear at the beginning,
So that was you.
something it was me. Something I came up with that riff,
Beautiful.
and it became the center of the song. Kind of lifted the song up.
Of course. Absolutely love it.
So like it was an offbeat, da, da,
Yeah.
da,
Yeah, that's it.
and
But
using minor ninths. So
I
it
love
was
it.
quite interesting.
I love it.
And all the arpeggios in the middle. Da, 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 da. That's all me,
Beautiful.
really.
Beautiful. Amazing.
Mm.
And did that recording session happen in the night, I take it?
It happened at night, and guess when it happened? It happened in 2005, the summer of 2005. That's
Right.
15 years ago, man.
Wow. Wow. How does it feel when, okay, before I ask you that, do you listen to your own songs? Like, would you listen to Kabhi Kabhi or Kahin To yourself? Would you prefer?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I think a lot of my relatives. I had some people around the other day, and one of them says I'd like to listen to Kabhi Kabhi Aati on your system.
Yeah.
So we're playing on YouTube, and I've got quite a nice, decent
Yeah.
sound system. So
Yeah.
yeah, and the kids listen to it,
And
so
must
they're into it.
obviously bring back some great memories to you, right?
Yeah, it brings back some lovely memories because that 2005 is very special for me. Not only did I record Kabhi Kabhi Aati,
Yeah.
whilst I was there, I got to sing Kahin To.
Kahin To, yeah, of course.
That happened late at night after Sukhwinder Singh sang. I remember he was in the studio before me and he was singing Jaane Tu Mera Kya Tha. Na, 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 na. He was singing that song.
Yes, of course. Yes, yes, yes.
And I was in the studio waiting for him to finish. And after him, I sang Kahin To, which was about 2 o'clock in the morning,
Oof.
3 o'clock in the morning. And
So,
then that's very special for me because that very year, I can remember I got married as well, so it's kind of romantic. Reminds you of that time, you know,
Beautiful.
singing those songs when you get married. Yeah, it's
Right.
good.
And were you comfortable recording at that point of the day, like in terms of 2 a.m. in the night?
Yeah, because we were used to it. Because when I was in India, I started my album stuff, the scratch things for my album, the pieces of my album, and I wanted to compose there. And the whole the whole system was set up that
Yeah,
work started at 12 a.m.
yeah,
in the morning and then went till the early hours. So I'm
yeah.
used to it with AR. I've always been used to it because that's the way he works. In fact, for Slumdog and Millionaire, that's exactly what happened.
Right.
London. It was recorded in London, but it was early in the morning, like early hours of in somewhere around 2008. We recorded.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing. Great. And yes, any memories of Nazar Lai from Ranjana?
Yeah, that again has good memories for me because in 2013 I was in India for quite a while,
Yeah,
and then he got to find out that I was in India, and he called me to do Nazar Lai,
yeah.
and I heard the song. Niti had already sung her part,
Right,
and I sang my part separately.
right. Yeah,
So it was again late at night, and it was nice atmosphere, and it's a lovely song. It's just,
yeah. How, how long does the recording session actually go while you're there in the studio with him, or it depends?
it just depends. I mean, when I've done guitar sessions, it's been 2 hours, 1.5 hour, depending. Like, I mean, I can remember doing Lukachupi, the guitar parts for that, which I did.
Oh
I
wow.
got to meet Lataji that same year. Yeah, that's the
Oh,
same thing actually. 2005 was amazing. I would sing Kabhi Kabhi Aadati Kahin To. I got married and I met Lataji at the studios.
beautiful. Oh wow.
So yeah, I mean, so sometimes in recording sessions, the guitars used to be like 1.5 hours, and I'd come up with something. He said, Just strum around, see what you can come up with,"
Yeah,
and I'd come up
yeah,
with some interesting things. Oftentimes, when it was a recording of the voice, it
yeah,
might it might take a couple of hours because obviously with vocal
yeah,
recording you have to be a lot more particular.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, I mean, the reason why I asked that was because, look, people might have their what's called that prime time of the day where they're comfortable singing at this point of the day, like early in the morning or late in the night or
Mm.
something like that. But I was hence why I was like curious to know if you were actually comfortable singing at any point of the day. Is that how it is, or magic just happens when you're with Sir?
I think when you're with generally when you're with AR, you generally record at night. Although I have done some daytime sessions. It depends on um, when they could also fit me in because often used to be that you base yourself at the hotel near Panchatham,
Yes.
and then you get called to come in tomorrow morning, and so I would like to record you for this song.
Mm.
Or it might be coming at late at night, so I would like to record you. So everybody has to be kind of
Yes.
in, flexible to
Yes.
work with as and when the
Yeah.
schedule comes up for the song.
Right.
And then, you see likes of Imtiaz Ali hanging out in the studio. You
Yeah.
see the likes of Kamal Hassan with a
Yeah.
meeting with AR. You see all these people hanging out. They're all waiting as well for AR.
Great. And any memories of Chennai? Walking on the streets, food, anything that you liked with the number of trips that you have made?
I like the people there. They were very nice.
Yeah.
And I've made many trips to Chennai, but I've also stayed there for long periods. Like I was there for 2 months at a time when I
Wow.
was recording my album.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that I think it was 2008. They had really bad floods there
Oh.
in
Oh, yeah, yeah.
2008.
That's true. Yeah.
They had some in 2005, 2008. I remember that we had quite a bit of flood, so that was quite challenging,
Yeah.
with the floods, being there in the flood season. But all in all, it was really, really inspiring because I used to love waking up. I used to love waking up and then going at night to mix my album with Deepak
Yeah.
when the sound engineer is there.
Yeah.
and we'd mix my album, or we'd do some recording, or we'd do the vocal recording for my album. Those are good times. I really enjoy them. Very inspiring.
Nice. And Deepak was there on the podcast too. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
remember actually for my album Call Me Rashid, I did a song called. It was AR's idea to do this song called Ayrılık.
Oh, wow.
It's an old Turkish Azerbaijan song from Azerbaijan, a folk song.
Yeah.
And he loved because there was one woman who was named Faria. She'd met AR,
Mhm.
and he said, "Why don't you sing something for me?" This is back in 2000 before I met him.
Yeah.
So she sang this piece called Ayrılık in Turkish
Yeah.
because she'd lived in Turkey. Although she was from Bangladesh, she lived in Turkey.
Yeah.
So he retained that memory, and he said, "Rashid, I want you to do a song with Faria."
Mm.
And it was this Turkish song, and I had to rework it because I didn't know what the song was.
Mhm.
And I did this really, it's a beautiful song. If you get to hear it
I
anytime,
will.
you can
I will
check
check
it
it
out.
for sure when I head out for a walk after this podcast.
Yeah,
I,
yeah. Even hear the original of other Turkish artists. It's a beautiful song,
wow.
and I rearranged it, and we did that, and we did Hindi
Yeah.
lyrics for it too. So those kind of memories I'll never forget. They were magical,
Sounds
magical.
like a lot has happened in the year 2005, huh?
Yeah, 2005, 2008. Very, very special years.
Amazing. Great. And still in touch with Sir, I take it?
Always,
Yeah. Yeah.
always.
Amazing. So great. I mean, look, I would love to know absolutely about all the songs that you've sung for him. So allow me to ask you memories of
Yeah.
Sunlo Zara as well.
So Lazara was, I'd actually done that in London at the time.
Yeah.
So, so AR sent me the track of it,
Yeah.
and I did it in my own studio.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't meet Shreya at the time, but I met Shreya at the studios one time. I think a couple of times in 2008, 2010. I met Shreya,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then she said to me, "Oh, at the time, oh, I love your song and all that stuff."
Mm,
And
mm,
she's got a good sense of humor as well. Shreya has. So,
yeah.
she's very down to earth, very friendly. So yeah, Sunna Zara was done in London. I'd actually
Yeah.
done that. In fact, Call Me Dil also I did in London,
Amazing. Amazing. Beautiful.
recording the guitar parts and then the vocal parts, then
Beautiful.
sending it to Chennai, and then they mixed it, and voila, you have the song.
Great. I mean, of course, look, you must have seen a lot happening after your songs were released and after they've gotten so popular and your fan base has increased. And so, how did you feel when that happened?
Well, you know what was funny because Jaane To, A.R.Rahman song was recorded in 2005, and like I forgot about it almost. It was just recorded and that's it. Never heard from it. Then it was supposed to be produced by Jammu Sugand. Do you know who he
Yeah,
is?
of course. Oh, yes.
Yeah, but I think it was supposed to be released by Jammu Sugand, and he passed on the production for some reason.
Yeah,
Then it got canned and delayed. Then Army's production picked it up,
yeah,
and eventually it came out in 2008. I didn't even know, but I was sat in London, and my mum happened to have B4U. I don't know if you're familiar with Sony B4U TV.
it does sound familiar. It does sound familiar.
Okay, so Sony Television have a B4U, like
Yeah,
Bollywood for You kind of TV,
yeah,
and the channel was playing,
yeah,
and I heard this song which I recognized, but I honestly thought it was a different singer singing the song.
yeah.
It's strange. I heard it on the TV, and I thought, is that my voice or not, or is it my voice? And I wasn't sure, and it was like I suddenly clicked, yeah, this is my voice. So by chance, I
Amazing.
heard the song, and I was like really excited, and I just went out and got the CD, and then it was just like, whoa! I listened to it in the car. It was amazing.
Yeah, superb. And so, look, I mean, I also would love to know, obviously, about the clip that you shared about a week or so ago, where you performing. We came out as a surprise to perform in front of Sir in that V Super Singer thing. Tell me about it. I would love to know.
So the voice of India. I mean that
Yeah.
clip has done phenomenally well. I mean it's got about 23 million views now, which
Yeah, I
is
saw that. Bloody hell.
amazing. They're like shockingly have gone viral, you know. And it was Voice of India had called Star Plus had called me, and they
Yeah.
wanted me to be a celebrity guest on the show.
Yeah.
I think they had a couple of other people before me.
Yeah.
I don't know who, but
Okay.
they
Okay.
yeah. So they called me, and kind of it was very unplanned. But
And
they
when
said
was
to
this
me,
again?
this was like last year sometime.
Oh, wow.
In
Okay.
yeah, I think in about February last year.
Wow, beautiful. Okay.
And then they said we wanted to be a surprise for Sir.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, that'd be fun. And they started playing the song,
Yeah.
and I came round the corner, and then suddenly he saw my face. He's like shocked.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could see that he wasn't faking for sure. He was truly surprised.
I go, oh. He was like, oh yeah, I know the song. Yeah, I guess somebody's going to sing it now. And then suddenly, oh, shock.
I have to confess, I must have watched that clip like about 15, 20 times again and again
Yeah,
just to see that expression when he saw you for the first time.
yeah, it was really good fun. I mean, again, very impromptu, no rehearsal.
Yeah,
Um, and there were some practical things that we had to take care of, such as if you're carrying a guitar, it's very difficult to
for sure.
do the logistics of sound when you're
Yeah,
carrying a guitar, right? So apart from that, I mean, the producers decided it would be nice to produce it in that way,
beautiful.
and
In that
the
case,
fact that the appearance is there, like the people put a face to the song now
for sure,
always.
for sure.
Rather because people didn't know who it was in the beginning. I was going to tell you a story actually. When Kabhi Kabhi Aditi came out, I started receiving so many calls
Yeah,
from India,
yeah.
and it was shocking how people loved the song. I think Sonu Nigam emailed AR, said fantastic song, he loved the song, and then
Wow.
people from all sorts of radio stations, Fever FM,
Yeah.
Radio Mirchi, they were calling me non-stop, and I had non-stop interviews with
Wow.
people, you
Wow.
know. And I didn't realize I didn't have any idea how the song did, because it was apparently a massive success
It
in
was.
India.
It
And I
was.
didn't realize,
It's a massive
it didn't kind of hit me. And even now, to this day, people still, you can see 23 million people still watch that song.
absolutely, and it's still counting. And after you shared it, I shared that link to my I Love ARR community as well, and then
Oh,
everyone
wow.
absolutely loved it. So
Oh,
many haven't
nice.
seen that clip, and then it was a nice little surprise clip to watch for sure. And
Yeah.
so, did you go back and end up buying that CD where later on when you found that it actually got released in?
Yeah, I did. Why shouldn't I? I said, I think I went to Southall and then bought it from there. Of course, if I was in India, I would have had a free copy, but
Yeah, of course, you're still popular. And did you sign it yourself saying this is sung by Rashid Ali?
yeah, well, yeah, I have signed CDs for people, yeah, like that, yeah.
And do you still
But
have that CD with you?
yeah, somewhere I do, somewhere.
Beautiful. And so, Rashid, I mean, the next one I would love to ask you is about Blue, Bulja.
Yeah,
What memories does that bring you?
the song, the film.
Yeah,
Yeah, again, because we did Aditi, and then straight after that, Abbas Tariwala was asked to do the lyrics for Blue.
oh, wow.
He did the lyrics for Jaane To, A.R.Rahman, and he also directed the film,
Yeah,
and he wrote it. He's quite talented. I mean, he's got a lot of talent there.
yeah.
And then he was asked to do the lyrics for the film Blue.
Wow.
And Bhula Tujhe was the song he wrote. And you should hear, I mean, if you listen to the lyrics, they're beautiful.
I love it. I love it.
Very spiritual, very spiritual. And then again, it was a case of I went to India, and it was late night, and AR took me on by himself.
Yeah.
And he just took me in the studio, and we just nailed the song there and there. Just him and I.
Yeah. In his was that in his little car?
The what do you mean the recording?
Yeah. No, I mean you said AR took you, right? So
No,
what?
he took me to record me in the
Oh, the
studio
recording
upstairs.
studio. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, in Panchatan upstairs
Oh,
studio.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And
Okay.
he often used to sit in my recordings. You know, when he used to do recordings with me, he often used to sit himself rather than somebody else do the recording.
Wow. Okay.
So, and then we recorded that song. It was just amazing because it's very spiritual as well, that song.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
and then after that, Jhootha Sahi,
Oh, yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah,
Cry Cry happened as well.
I love it.
Special trip to, yeah, special trip to India just to do Cry Cry.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such an
And
amazing.
then we did Boom Boom as well, the Hindi version for Boom Boom, Shaka Chaka
Yeah,
Boom Boom. We did a Hindi version of that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
with
Amazing.
Sadhna Sargam.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah.
And but sadly in the Hindi it didn't kind of really get
Uh,
much exposure.
yeah,
You know?
because it was more like a Tamil film, right? So
Yeah.
it's understandable. But yes, of course, yeah. I love
But
it.
you know, I'll tell you something interesting. I got to sing that song live in Tamil.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And where was that?
That was in I got to sing in the 2003 in Dubai. I remember that.
Wow.
We did it in Dubai and a couple of other places.
How did you manage to do that in Tamil?
Difficult. Difficult.
Okay.
You know. Like I remember the words like Miriguati, Miriguati. I mean, I don't know what it means,
Yeah.
but you have to Mirig
Yeah, that means a candle.
means?
A candle.
Does
Murugavati.
it?
Yeah.
How do you say Mirig?
Murugavati.
Miriguati. சாப்பிடுமா
What was that?
சாப்பிடுமா
Yeah, can we eat?
சாப்பிடு சீக்கிரம் right?
Yeah, that's like eat fast. Amazing. Great. And have there been any other songs that you wished you had sung apart from the ones that you sung, and then you must have heard other stuff coming out and you felt, hey, you know what, this is my song, I should have sung this.
I wouldn't say my song, but the one song that
My
I
style, right?
the one song I would have loved to sing was Tumi Ho.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's like a song that you think, oh, what a kind of dynamite song that was, you know.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But like I said, it sounded great in his voice. I thought when I heard the song, it was like a cross between um, was Mohit Chauhan and Atif Aslam when I had first heard it because I didn't hear the singer ever before.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was great because
Yeah.
it sounded like the two singers merged into one.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
But yeah, but you know, and I think it's all meant to happen when it has to happen. You know, I know for a fact that I've sung a song which is supposed to be in somebody else's voice. Likewise,
Yeah.
I'm sure that I might have sung a song and then
Yeah.
eventually it went to somebody else. And it's just the way it is
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
moment. You know,
Yeah.
it's
And
destiny.
any other collaborations coming up? Anything that you're talking with Sir?
There's always stuff coming up, yeah. But I'm at the moment I'm in the throes of finishing off with my own song. At the
Yeah.
moment, I'm trying to release a song,
Yeah.
my own composition.
Beautiful.
So, and the lyrics are very nice, and I'm just in the last last bits of finishing that off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Post that, you know, there's going to be other songs coming up, and
Sure. For sure.
obviously with lockdown at the moment,
Of course.
things are pretty you know, sort of difficult with shows and that at the moment. But
Understand.
we can always do music, right? We can always work on music.
Correct. That's true. So, um, Rashid, and I know it's getting a bit too late for you, so I just have
No.
two last things to ask you, and then we'll wrap it up. I'll let you go back and sleep. Um, so, look, the second last question is I was just wondering, as part of this podcast journey, as I said, it's turned into a talking autobiography of Sir, and Sir does get to watch the podcast whenever it comes out. So he does get the first copy or the link, and he will watch it in a fast forward mode. As we all know, he doesn't have the time, so he will watch it in a fast forward mode. And with that said, I was just wondering if there is anything that you want to convey to Sir as part of this podcast.
It's been an amazing journey, and long may it continue.
Of course,
That's all I'll say. And obviously, he said on the voice, I miss those times in London. I miss those too. But there's always when you have friends in the world, and he's like family to me anyway. But when you have friends in the world, there's always we're always in each other's thoughts and prayers and stuff. So I pray for him and his family,
beautiful,
and wish him all the best of health.
amazing, great, it's amazing. So Rashid, look, um, the last thing is, of course, requesting you to sing a couple of lines of any of the songs that you like. And, well, because if I let you go without singing, the I Love ARR community is going to kill me.
Okay, so which one? What is your request?
My request would be um, Kahin To.
कहीं तो कहीं तो होगी वो दुनिया जहाँ तू मेरे साथ है होती जहाँ सुबह तेरी पलकों की किरणों में लोरी जहाँ चांद की सुने तेरी बाहों में जाने ना कहाँ वो दुनिया है जाने ना वो है दुनिया नहीं जहाँ मेरी जिंदगी मुझसे इतनी खफा नहीं कहीं तो कहीं तो
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Rashid.
Thank you.
Amazing. Look, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying up late and making this happen. The fact that you're supporting me on this tribute initiative for AR Sir is just phenomenal. I have no words to express. So thank you so much, Rashid.
Thank you for inviting me and thank you for making me a part of it as well. It's been
Oh,
fun.
it's an honor.